Hello, I'm Mr. Pibbles, but you can call me Peter, and welcome back to our Planet Coaster 2 Challenge Park series here in Planet Coaster 2. Now, today we are over at our little splash pad here because we're done with our with the inside of our little pool complex here away from the series. I've just lightened up this place a little bit, finished off getting some of the bits around, and we have a fully completed pool complex. I say we are just about to finish it proper. As you can see down there, there is something, but we have a name for this place now. This is now the Splash Landings, and we will take a tour of it later. But first, we have something to do in this episode, and as you can see here, we have a roller coaster, so let's get into the time-lapse and give that a little bit of a build.
Yes, hello and welcome to the time-lapse. It's me, the man who can't seem to say the phrase pool complex. I don't know why I was having so much difficulty with it, but there we go. So, as you can see in this episode, we are building a roller coaster, which has famously gone quite well for us in these episodes. I am, of course, making a joke there about how it took an entire episode to build our wonderful Barnstormer, and just as long to build Sakura, which arguably isn't as complex. But there we go. Today we're actually doing this, and I really like the way that this turns out. So we are building a water splash coaster. I can't quite remember the technical term for it, but there we go. What this thing does is it allows you to do splashdown elements, and I thought it would be perfect to do here because, you know, you need some incentive to come over here rather than the pool. So instead I went for this this lovely splash coaster. Now, as I said, this is the last thing I needed to do, and then within this area of the park, and then this whole kind of area is sort of done. I've got a little bit of theming to do off camera after this episode, but that's something that I can do in my spare time. But I should probably tell you a little bit more about this. So why did I want something like this? Well, I thought that it would be almost perfect as sort of a little bit of a fun thing around the edge of the pool complex, and I thought that it would be fun to kind of get in, do something that I haven't really done before, because I've never really played around with these splash coasters. Kind of what I've mainly I stick to other coaster models and sort of that sort of thing. But I thought actually what I can do here is I can build one of these splash coasters, and I can have it weave around the flumes and all of that. And I thought it would just be quite interesting as a bit of a, not proof of concept, but I thought it'd be interesting. And of course it is a bit of a process of trial and error, because we don't want people to bang their heads at all. That is not what this is for. But yeah, and then this is the other thing that I wanted. I wanted sort of these helixy elements around sort of these little pools. So there's one or two of them around, and I wanted sort of you to be able to kind of go around it and kind of incorporate it into the design. I think there's one the other side of the park. We don't do it in this one, but we will tackle it at some point in the future. But it has been a fun journey here, kind of building this little pool complex. Again, getting in, doing something I haven't quite done before. With all these flumes, these slides, all of this, and again now this. So do I have any kind of real world influence for this? No, not really. I've never been on one of these in real life. I've seen pictures and videos, but I've never actually been on one, so I don't know how realistic this layout would be, but you know, you make do with what you've got. So, yes, it isn't an overly long layout. The only thing I really wanted to do with this is have it so that it did wrap around the building and kind of provide a little bit of kind of a more interesting element, and so that this the outside was actually used and seen and all that. But there we go. So one of the things you may have noticed about this is we don't actually really use any splashdown elements apart from that one up at the top at the start, going over the sign. That was actually initially what made me want to build this coaster, is because I had a thought that maybe, just maybe, it would be interesting to sort of have some sort of either log flume or water coaster splashdown over the sign, so that, you know, you're walking in, you can get splashed. It'd be quite fun. And the idea kind of grew from there, and that is why we've got this. Now, you will notice it didn't quite make it through the entire layout, which isn't ideal, so instead we are popping into here, just getting that final helix a little bit smaller, and kind of doing something interesting with it, with the banking on it, and then we are into the splashdown with the final trough. So there we go. That is into a splashdown and into this trough element before, you know, you come out and you go back to the station. And this is revolutionary for me. You know, I've never really taken not even half an episode to build a coaster. This is new. You know, I don't know if it says anything about me getting better at this game, or whether I've just been doing this for long enough that I've kind of gotten used to it, or whether this is a one-off. But, you know, I'd like to think that I'm getting better at this game by playing this, by using this series as a way to kind of try new things, and I would like to think that kind of it's that helps. Quick detour, I never actually put any water filtering stuff in here, so our flumes and slides aren't actually clean, which isn't ideal. So connecting those up, I think we managed to cover most of them. There's just the one on the end there, so kind of coming out, we'll place that there, sort of, and we'll cover it with rocks later. Now, where are we going now? Well, we're inside here, just getting this stuff done, because we are now out of power as well. But obviously we've got that little backstage shed that I quite like, so that's all fine. So, just checking some clearance on here and building a new path. This is going to be a path that ultimately takes you somewhere else in the park. I had this idea that on the lead up to this pool complex, there'd be a sort of like a forest, and you'd walk through the forest, and then kind of similar to Alton Towers, where they've got the forest there that you can walk through to get to different areas of the park. I wanted something similar here. Moving on to the queue line of this ever so wonderful coaster. It's quite a simple one. It's just back and forth a little bit. You know, you don't need it to be too big. It's just what it is, and we can have, I think, 6 cars running on it, which is quite good. And don't mind me checking all of my notifications here. I saw one that our raft flume had ejected onto a hard surface, which makes no sense because it's on a catch pool, but there we go. That's neither here nor there. Now, I had a bit of a trouble trying to come up with a name for this, because I toyed a couple of things. It's not like row your boat, which I didn't like, then extreme rowing, which I didn't like, and now it's splash boating, which is good enough. I can live with that. So let's get on to finally building a station building for this. And it's all going to be very, very simple. It's going to use exactly the same kind of architectural style and colours as the rest of this pool complex, because I just wanted it to blend in. You know, it would be really weird to have it in a completely different style. So instead, here we are sticking all of these windows and stuff in, and kind of making it this divided plaster wall. I do really like these walls. I think they look really nice for kind of what we're going for. And yeah, so getting these in here, and then sticking the door in, but we don't need the door, we need an archway, so getting it in instead a plaster archway, it looks quite nice. And yeah, I just like the fact that this looks like an extension of the main building. It's what it's supposed to do, and it throws you out into the main building, which possibly isn't the wisest idea, and possibly isn't realistic at all, but what can you do? You make do with what you've got, and what I've got is an idea and a dream. But there we go. I don't know why I had so much trouble getting that arch in there, but that's all in there, and we've now got this box of a building that we can play around with, which is quite good. Yes, there we go. Now, moving on forwards to find a little bit of a fence to go around this, I go for this Planet Coaster fence. I don't think we've used this one before, so I thought, why not here? You know, it's one of the things I like about this kind of series is using bits and pieces I wouldn't usually use, like these fences, and like the divided plaster walls. You know, I wouldn't use them in a general park, but they're perfectly acceptable here. So kind of getting these up so that, you know, it blocks off the side of the queue line. I don't know why I had so much trouble there, but there we go. I'll get my teeth in next time. But yes, so moving on to this little bit here. We don't finish off this switchback queue until later on. You know, I like the cattle pens. They're all fun. I mean, to be fair, I like both types of queues. I like it when you can get in and you can do an elaborate cattle pen, but I also like when you can just sit down and do something different. So there we go. Now, moving on to actually theming up this coaster itself. I wanted to go with something similar, sort of like this aquatic base theme we've got for the entire thing. And I wanted to finish off with sort of the trough sunk into the ground like we're doing here. But ultimately it doesn't look great, so kind of we come in, we smooth that all down, and ultimately it doesn't look ideal, but you know, it'll do. I think that's the best thing about this. You know, it doesn't need to be perfect, because that's the whole theme of this series, and it's definitely not a cop-out on my part. So, coming in, we're just placing all of these tropical rocks, not as an extension of our other lovely pirate area, no, but instead an extension of all the rock work we've got inside of the complex, because that's all tropical. And you're going to see me going around and about a bit in this whole theming section, because, you know, I didn't quite know how I wanted to theme it. I didn't know what I wanted, so kind of I'm doing little bits here and there with things like these coconut palms. I really like them. I've grown to love them over this series. It's quite fun to kind of stick these palm trees down and kind of come up with things and try to figure out where to put them. And yeah, it's just coming in, sticking them down, just to make this last little area feel a little bit more kind of immersive. I don't think that's the right word, but fun. That might be the word we're looking for. And then these are the other pieces that I have grown to adore over this kind of pool complex, is the beach cabbage. I really like the beach cabbage. It's a silly little piece, and it's like the tropical version of, I don't know how to pronounce it, I think it's Scullivula or something like that, but it's like the tropical version of that, and I really, really like it. And yes, coming in, placing some more boulders. Don't worry, we do a little bit more theming throughout this. It's just at the moment I'm having a bit of a, ooh, what do I do here, what do I do there, kind of trying to figure out what we're doing. And then I find this the water filter, and I go, oh, I didn't know that was there. Let's cover it with a rock. And so we cover it with a rock, and I don't think you can see it much when you're flying past in a boat. Moving on round, we've got this little bit here, and this is kind of really where the aquaticness of this aquatic themed coaster kind of really comes in with these pipes. Now, I had an idea here that I wanted this to be a number of, like, just a number of archways that you go through, kind of while you're kind of doing this little helix, because, you know, you don't have much speed, so I thought actually this might be a nice place to do a little bit of something. So I thought this spiderweb design with the pipes would be quite nice, and you can make it under all of them, which is quite fun. And I do toy around with putting down some other supports, but ultimately it doesn't look great. Any attempt's futile, and so instead, yeah, don't trust what he's doing there. We get rid of those 2 other pipes and we just stick with the other 4 archways, which is quite fun. I really like the way that this looks, and I think it works quite well for what it does. And moving on over here, I wanted to do basically the same thing, but instead kind of we come in and we use it to sort of build a support structure for this bit over the path, because, you know, you don't want to have people on the coaster accidentally drop anything onto people on the path. I still need to put something in the way of a net onto this, but it's fine. I think it looks quite good, and actually, again, I think it does tie everything from this coaster sort of into the path, which is quite fun and nice, and I like it. But yes, so we're popping that down there and just connecting up these bits here and there, just making it feel quite nice. So yeah, that's all that done. Let's move on to something else. We're over here at the little lagoon pool, and I thought I'd place some shipwrecky pieces because I thought that would look quite nice. You know, there's no shame in doing a good shipwreck piece, and actually I really like the way that these all look. So kind of coming in, placing down these bits of old wrecked boat, almost as if you are kind of underwater and aquatic and all that. And that's sort of the theme to kind of towards this, is that this is all meant to be somewhat underwater. I don't know, it doesn't look like it, but there we go. And this is where kind of my other bit of underwater idea theming comes in, because there's this bit where kind of you come under all of these slides and it's a bit darker and it's a bit spooky. So I thought, why don't we make this sort of the underwater coral reef part of the coaster? So I really like the way this turns out. Kind of you're flying past this all, and it's just a load of colours and kind of plantage, and it just looks really nice. You know, you wouldn't really expect this sort of thing, but I do like it. And kind of one of the things that I need to do outside of these episodes is kind of come in and make some of these pipes and slidey bits transparent, because I think that would look really nice. Now coming into here, finally we are sorting a roof and we're sorting the switchback queue, which means I believe that we are coming up towards the end of this time-lapse segment. So I promise that I will see you soon, in real time, as soon as we are done with kind of putting the roof on this thing. So I hope you have enjoyed this episode, and I know the other fella will tell you in a sec, but do like, comment, subscribe if you do enjoy this. I will see you in real time in probably approximately 10 seconds, if I'm lucky. Okay, and welcome back to real time. Yes, we have got quite a bit done this episode, in that we've built the entirety of our new coaster in this park, Splash Boating. There's a little bit of theming that I need to do off camera, but that's fine, I can do that off camera. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to have a look around. We're going to ride some of these flumes, and we're going to ride this new coaster. So without further ado, let's get in for Splash Landings.
So we come in through the entrance, and of course you've got the lovely front entrance here with our two desk clerks, and you can buy, if you need to, anything out the back. And of course we've got flume height requirements as a precaution, as a just in case. Now coming down here, let's pop into the changing rooms where we change, and we can stick something in the locker. And we're now out here in the pool, and people are using the splash pad, which is fun. This is the first time I've seen people using it. Of course, we've got the main pool over here. We can see up at the cafe area there, which is quite fun. So let's head into here and head all the way through here to the beach. This is quite cool. I do really like the way this all looks. So, without further ado, let's just get up the other end. Oh, that was really cool. Obviously, when you're here, you can now see the coaster go past, which is fun. But I think we should start off here. And let's ride Splashworks. So we are here. We're ready, and we're on the front. Let's go! Fantastic. All fun stuff there. Which, you know, one can't complain about at all. Now let's head over to... Oh, you can see the carry car coming back to catch that. Now let's ride some of these. And let's start off with Pipeline, which is the tamest of the three. So let's go. Wonderful stuff there. Let's head straight back up to the top to ride Void. Oh, how fun that is. Let's go back up once more for a ride on Plug Hole. This, of course, being our bowl slide at the edge of everything, so that's all fun. Just waiting for someone to come up here so that we can ride this. I don't know how long... Oh, and we missed it. Hang on. Let's go with much haste. Oh, we missed it. Oh, come on. Right, let's go now. Apologies for the delay. Hitting some good speed as we get down into the bowl, and splosh into the catch part. Excellent. And of course, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll come down here and we will do the latter half of our lazy river to get back over to this side. Use the staff path. Bit of a naughty, but there we go. And we will head all the way over. Although it's probably not good form to to head in through the exit. So let's head in through the entrance of Splash Boating. And it's already got quite a good queue. I wasn't expecting that. So let's hop in. And let's enjoy this. Well, once it starts. Okay, here we go. Excellent, we're up at the top, and as we go in for that drop... Excellent stuff, and in for the splash over the entrance. Oh, wonderful stuff. And up the second lift hill. And splash down into the final, sort of the last bit of the thing. Amazing. Well, let's just hop out there. And there we go. That is the... of course, there's a bit of tidying up I need to do off camera, but that is the essence of our lovely water park section of the park, that being Splash Landings. It is done. So, thank you for watching this episode. If you have enjoyed watching me build this and indeed all of this, then please give me a like, give me a follow, possibly even a subscribe if I'm lucky enough, and I will see you in the next episode. Ta-ta, roll that outro.